Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On today's episode, we're covering internet killer Luka Magnotta.
Yeah, you're listening to a podcast. 3 guys, 1 podcast. Luka Magnotta, 1 asshole, 1 prison sentence.
Yeah, this came about through a Netflix special, Don't Fuck with Cats, true story of one of Canada's most infamous murderers. And it was actually a really sick story.
Yeah, so this one was brought to us by Officer Vince, one of our top fans. He listens all the time. So we did a little interview with him before this episode, just to thank him for bringing this one to us. So he's enjoying the show. We hope you are. And speaking of that, if you are, leave that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple, Google. And you can leave a written review on Apple. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Luka Magnotta. Officer Vince, what's going on?
Nothing, man. What's up with you guys?
Not much. So I'm here with Matt and Zap.
Good evening.
Matt and Zap?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Officer Vince, the honor is all ours.
Yes, thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. You guys don't understand. I feel like this is pretty awesome, man. Definitely, I was bragging about you guys all night. You had to at least get 10 more followers tonight with me talking about.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome, man. We appreciate it.
We love it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's what we do it. We do it just to hear stuff like that. Honestly, it's like really cool.
Everybody's like, who are they? I'm just like, man, this is crazy. But
just say, shut up and listen. I'm on it.
Shut up and listen.
Enjoy it.
I literally brought it up on their phone for them. Like I made them they pull it up right there in front of me. So yeah,
awesome.
It's the apostrophe that gets most people.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, they want to put OLD.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not the D.
Yeah,
these guys are illiterate.
That's right. So, Officer Vince, man, you brought this one to our attention. Don't fuck with cats. So we got from the Officer Vince files. We're gonna say
the Officer Vince files. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. I'll definitely hold my end of the deal up. But I hope you guys aren't testing my memory, though, man. Damn, it's probably been 3 years since I watched that series.
Oh no, I was the same. I watched it in 2019, and then
I think it came out in 2019.
Yeah, and I just watched it again to get refreshed. But then, like, Zap researched it and all that stuff. So
there was one of you that didn't even hear about it, right?
That was me. So this is Zap. I had never heard of this, and it's one thing to bring the documentary, the Don't Fuck with Cats series, to our attention, but certainly the greater look at this is the menace to society, Luka Magnotta. I mean, that is really what this is all about.
Luka Magnotta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zap, all I could picture you saying or hear you saying is like, this guy is narcissist as fuck.
So it's so amazing you say that. So in my write-up of this, in fact, not long into my write-up, I will, I get into the whole concept of narcissism with this. Like this guy is textbook narcissist.
So he checks all the
McDonald's.
And that's all I could think about. I was like, I could just hear Zap saying, this is narcissist as fuck. And to look at you guys, I'm getting off on a little kind of a side note, but I know you by sound, by voice, more than I know you by face.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Well, you can't even see my face, so nobody knows who I am. I'm like
on the logo.
Oh, I thought
I'm like an enigma in a hat and a black sweatshirt.
Yeah.
There was a couple of YouTube videos of you guys and some TikTok pictures.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of TikTok, if you don't mind me bringing this up, you guys, fun fact, Ed Gingrich is from the same county as I'm from, like a couple miles away.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, literally, I drove past his house when I first moved here, and someone told me the story, and it's been kind of weird ever since. Every time I drive past that place, there's a golf course right nearby, and I see it. It's kind of crazy, but you have a picture on TikTok of 2 officers leading Ed Gingrich through in handcuffs.
Yes.
And they're one's a really good friend of mine, and they're both from the same police department. They at least they worked there years ago, but I had to get a little kick out of that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was in the 90s, I guess. That happened,
Yep.
like 93 or something like that, I think it was.
Right.
But
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but Officer Vince, man, we appreciate you listening, and we're happy that we're able to entertain you and all that.
Yeah, thank you so much for the great suggestion.
Yeah.
And I say that obviously this guy is a creepy asshole, but it is truly a not only a true crime, but an incredibly compelling story that somebody like this actually exists.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I know people that are tapping glass all day. They spend their entire lives on social media and shit like that. But holy cow, what this guy did.
It was wild.
Yeah.
But like you said, the in your face type way he went about it was just insane just to think of.
It's
Like-
just weird and twisted. You can't talk about this story without saying weird, the words weird and twisted, because it was just that. And the thing is, you don't want to, people care more about animals than people to some degree. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's where it starts. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with cats.
That's a very Officer Vince. That's a very, very, very good point. It is incredible what it takes to motivate people. Thousands of people are motivated by a guy doing what he did, and yet otherwise you'll just see people just turn the other way if you see somebody getting their ass kicked on the side of the street or a woman getting beaten on a bus or some shit like that.
this is what I experienced firsthand with people who messed with animals. Me being a diehard Steeler fan over here on the western part of
God bless
Pennsylvania.
you. God bless you.
Yeah.
You had a good
we
run.
had to, when Mike Vick came on to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, with the dogs, yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, people were so pissed. I mean, they were so mad only because of that. Like some fans just quit being fans because of them bringing on Mike Vick and his past with what he did with dogs.
The dog
It
fighting
was
and all
crazy.
that.
I don't know. If
Yeah.
Vic won a Super Bowl there, it would have been easily forgotten.
Right.
That's
They
true.
would have been like, dog, what?
Yeah.
But that
Right.
was his cousin or something though, right? It wasn't even him.
No, he was involved, I guess, but
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was
he was
I don't
funding it
know.
and stuff. Hey, Officer Vince, quick question.
Yeah.
We're doing at the end of the week. This will be coming out on Monday,
yeah,
but
yeah.
on the Thursday, Matt had a question for you. We're doing Beverly Hills Cop, so we figured.
shit.
So
What's his name? Foley?
Axel Foley, yeah. But Matt had a
Axel
question.
Foley, yeah.
Matt had a question. I was like, Officer Vince will know. So go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so in a lot of these movies, they said in this movie in particular, they said that Axel F was going to be driven out of town and not able to return. And in other movies like Porky's, as they were saying, there's always like, oh, if we make it to the county line, like the police can't chase us anymore. Now I know the county line thing is out of the question. I know that the police can do that, but is there anything of a police officer? Can they escort somebody out of town and ask them not to return?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, we've had that a couple times where it was ordered by a judge. Like
Oh,
the judge literally said, you are
okay.
not allowed back in these city limits. And there's been times where we dealt with somebody so much. We have a bridge in our city, and it's when you cross the bridge, it's the next jurisdiction. So we're like, well, we'll take you across the bridge and don't come back in town. Obviously it's not like we're gonna lock them up if they come back, but it's like hopefully they just go over there and don't bother our citizens or us anymore.
So this shit was like Rambo, like where they really were like, okay, here's the bridge, get your ass
Right,
across,
yeah.
don't come back.
right.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna come back, I don't care,
Exactly. Yeah.
Officer Vince, thank you so much. I gotta tell you, it feels good to be right.
Yeah, Zap said I think they can do that. He was correct.
I got one other quick question before we let you go. Is it Kenny Pickett, right?
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kenny
yeah,
Pickett. Is that the answer?
I want it to be so bad. I want it to be the answer. Like, I'm not giving up on him. I'm just like, I went to Miami to see Ben's first start, and I rode with him for the next 18 years, and
Right.
it was awesome to have your man, and he's there for years, and that's why I want somebody. And Kenny's, he's young enough where he's got a long future. And I would like to see him in Pittsburgh. I want him to be the guy. There's no reason why I wouldn't want him to be.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out for him to, pull something out, and be successful.
Yep, he's got the
cool.
talent, man.
So do you guys take like Bengals fans or Ravens fans? Do you make them get over the bridge? You're like, get out of here, man. We don't need you.
Man, I got in-laws that are Bengals fans, and it's not a good Thanksgiving. I'll tell you that.
See, I wouldn't say Browns because they're pretty much irrelevant. So
Yeah,
Right.
sure. But there's a lot of Browns fans, and we're kind of in a triangle with Cleveland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. So it could go one of those three ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a Broncos fan, so we had some good games back in the day. There's been some good ones.
But how disappointing was Russell?
Hey! We weren't talking about the Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's awesome. I really liked him, but man, what happened?
That was one of the worst investments in the NFL for the Broncos.
It's there. It's there, though. The potential's there. Something, I don't know what was going on. Who was he mess with? Sierra's his wife or something?
Yeah, she has him doing like TikToks and stuff, so he don't know what the hell he's doing. But Sean Payton's giving him 1 year. I think he's saying to his people, he's like, he got 1 year. If not, we'll find
taking
somebody
him
else.
to the bridge.
Yeah, he's taking him to the bridge.
Yeah.
Can we use that? Is that?
Yeah, that's gonna be our new thing.
Yeah, that's a new thing. The Officer Vince taking him to the bridge.
Taking him to the bridge. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, Officer Vince, man, we appreciate you, man. We'll definitely be in touch down the road, and
I'll be patiently waiting on my merch, man. I ordered a T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna get a sweatshirt too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so definitely. And my March Madness bracket name is Old Dirty Basement.
Oh man,
Nice.
look at that.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
my March,
And more and more people are like, "What is that about?" So yeah, I'm spreading the word, man.
my March Madness bracket is busted.
Busted. Yeah, that's what your name is. Yeah.
That's pretty much the name of it.
Well, hey, maybe we'll
I'm
come
going
out.
for Houston.
Maybe we'll come out sometime for a ride along or something like that. You know what I mean? You never know. That'd be cool.
Oh, the Old Dirty Ride Along.
Old Dirty Ride Along. Yeah,
Podcasting.
that'd be awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Would we be allowed to do? I don't think we'd be allowed to do a ride along. I believe, but I don't think we'd be able to like.
I don't know,
podcast
3 of us in the
during-
back.
Maybe a ride behind. We don't want to implicate Officer Vince on misuse of town or city resources.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Taxpayers' money at work.
I've been doing it for 25 years. I know what to do and what not to do. So I'm good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Officer Vince, man. Well, we appreciate it again. So we'll be talking to you. We'll catch you where?
All right, on the flip side.
All right, later, my man.
Word, later.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right.
Hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
And Zap.
and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello. Good evening, good spring, and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement. I am Matthew. With me always is Dave and Zap. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
This movie / true crime / documentary
Yeah.
/ horror / whatever.
How about just the person?
The person, yeah.
The person for whom all of that was made. The terrible Luka Magnotta.
I didn't know where you're going with that for a second.
Nah, this is so. Well, it's because we do vintage cinema review, of course, and we certainly are doing true crimes, compelling stories, and not unlike what happened when we did Dahmer. It's one thing that there's a show out or a documentary or something about the person. By all means, we're going to get into that documentary. I'm sure that's going to bleed into this, but it's really about like the person, right?
Right.
So there is certainly a documentary out there about this guy or a part of his life that is included in this film or this series. But it's really, at least from my perspective, the way that I want to present this as we go, about the asshole, about this jerk off, Luka Magnotta.
So let me ask, did you get to see any of it? The actual
I got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
So
yeah,
of the
I was
3
curious.
episodes of that thing, I watched 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
This is maybe one of the first criminals that we had. It was actually a media sensation for a while. There was a lot of YouTubes or hits.
Bizarre.
Yeah. You know, I was surprised at how many people. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the title of this Netflix show, Don't Fuck with Cats, I was like, what is this even? Like, I didn't even think it was.
I thought it was something about pets or something.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking it was something about cats, you know, and that's a lot of people that exactly, a lot of people that I brought this up to, and they were like, yeah, I saw that on there, I never watched it, and when I tell them what it's kind of about, they're like, what? I didn't know any of that was like. I'm like, yeah, it goes a lot deeper than just cats.
I heard about it from a friend of mine who, actually, it was a friend of my wife's, and she's a FBI agent. And she was the one mentioning something about this to my wife. My wife said something about like some murderer with cats. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were going with that, so I had to watch it.
Yep.
I got to tell you, I didn't know shit about this until one or both of you twos mentioned it. And not for nothing, I could have gone the rest of my life not knowing that this guy existed and everything would have been fine.
Yes, I agree.
This is a depraved dude.
Well, this was actually brought to us by the Officer Vince Files.
Yeah, that's a new, the
our new
Officer
thing,
Vince
yeah.
Files.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, he gave me another one too that I'll have to look into, but this is the first one that he sent to me. And I said, you know what? I did see that, and that'd be a great one to cover because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are unaware of this crime and this guy and everything else. So,
So
shout
this
out
is
to
from
Officer Vince on that.
Yeah.
This is
thank
from the-
you.
oh, go
Thank
ahead,
you.
Zach.
No, go right ahead. Go ahead.
No, this is from the Officer Vince Files Part 1.
Part 1.
And he
yeah.
has one he's going to have is Part 2.
Part 2.
Mm,
Right,
that's
right.
French for 2,
Yes.
Yep.
especially if you're in Canada.
Right. Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Hoser.
Yeah, so talking about Canada, there was a funny thing I think we were talking about the other day.
What,
About,
the whole place in general?
well,
or-
Canada and New York. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so talking about like the difference between Canada and New York and how people talk. And I think it was Richard Jenny. He's like a stand-up comic. And he was saying how like if you're in New York, you say, hey, get away from my car. But if you're in Canada, you go, get away from my car, eh? So you just put the A before. If you're in Canada, you know what I'm trying to say? You just put A at a different place. If you're in New York, you're like, hey, what are you doing? If you're in Canada,
Oh,
what are you
okay.
doing, eh?
Gotcha.
You just like
it.
flip-flop it. Yeah, basically.
Mm.
So,
maybe
hey, I'm going into this store. Like, I'm going into this store, eh?
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha,
You just like
gotcha.
flip-flop on the
It's
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's a fun fact.
it is a fun fact.
What a difference those Great Lakes make.
Mm-hmm. Just in the dialect and how
That's
people
beautiful
talk and
country up
stuff.
there, though. I heard like the Thousand Islands, and there's like good fish.
But in Canada?
I guess it's between what, New York, and Canada, and it is Canada, I guess.
Ish.
Yeah.
It's that, yeah. I don't know.
Higher Buffalo. I
I'm
don't know.
intrigued by a show that just they'll never find shit. The Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
So that happens up in Nova Scotia. That is, for whatever reason, they never find what they're looking for. But season after season after season, I still watch every
it.
goddamn episode, hoping they're going to find this shit. Oh
Yeah.
well. All right. Well, enough of that. Enough chit chat and jibba jabba.
Right.
Let's get on to Luka Magnotta. So, this piece of shit was born on July 24th, 1982. His real name is Eric Clinton Kirk Newmanaw.
Hey, 4 names.
Wow.
How about that? Well, I guess all of us Catholics, we get 4 names after confirmation.
Confirmation, yeah.
Oh, yes.
True.
So, not much on his early life. I can tell you that 12 years after his birth, his parents divorced in 1994, when thereafter Magnotta moved in with his grandmother. Now, this guy claims to have come from bad blood. He alleges that his mom would routinely lock him and his siblings out of the house. And she even once put her children's pet rabbits out in the cold to freeze to death. P.S. His father was also diagnosed as a schizophrenic.
He also said that his father claimed to be a proud Nazi, and he was very an abusive husband and spouse.
That's what Luka said?
yes,
his dad-
that is
about his
dad.
dad, yeah.
Huh, I didn't catch that one. Interesting. Well, at a young age, old Luka fought hard to land a schizophrenia diagnosis for himself, and he got it, despite a number of doctors and psychiatrists not really seeing the symptoms. So I say that, he fought hard to land it and ended up getting it because in Canada, with something like that, this enabled a disability allowance.
You get money then.
Yeah, it's like, not even like, it is a disability allowance. So, which he learned this actually from his father. He saw that his father was getting this money, this government dole.
Right.
And well, shit, I can be lazy too.
It came with free cheese.
Yeah, I want to go
in a block.
Cheese curds.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that stuff that the poutine? Is that Canadian?
I'm not sure.
That's the
Poutine.
cheese. That's the cheese and gravy on fries.
Is that what they do up there?
I think it's Canada.
It might be. I don't know. I have to ask Juice. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about Canada.
Did you ever see that movie about the guy with the belt? Poontang? What's it called?
Mm-mm.
Not
I missed that
poutine,
one
but
too.
poontang.
Pootie Tang.
Oh, Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang.
Yeah,
Pootie
I thought
Tang.
it was called poutine.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now on the government dime, he supplemented his disability allowance with prostitution.
Mm.
Yeah, unsuccessfully, I believe.
I mean, I wouldn't know. One way or the other.
Well, no, he was trying to be like an actor. He wanted to be a stripper,
He
escort.
wanted to do a lot of things. And in fact, at the age of 21 in 2003, he began to appear in gay pornographic videos and briefly worked as a stripper
yes.
at Remington's, which is a gay strip club in Toronto.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a straight strip club.
No.
What's it called? Remington's.
Remington's.
like a rifle.
What was that from?
Remington Steel,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remington Steel.
starring
Isn't that a black
Pierce
porn
Brosnan.
star?
No.
Remington Steele?
No. Is he? Remington Steel.
that could be
I think it was. I don't know.
like Shaft.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Richard
No,
Roundtree.
it's Lexington Steel. That's the guy.
Lexington Steel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So let's everyone be clear. Now, while he did appear in gay pornographic videos, he was not a true quote unquote porn star.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was not gay.
No. Well, no, I'm definitely not going to say that.
No, okay.
Instead, he dabbled in the
Gayness.
in the porn profession.
Oh.
In hopes of making a name for himself, but the business wasn't interested in him at all.
That's a good question. So if you're in porn, you're not automatically a porn star.
Correct.
You're just a porn actor.
Think of B actor.
Okay.
Right.
Because, yeah, you think about that. Yeah.
He was a C- at best.
It's not something where you can just be like, do one film and you're a porn star.
He was probably in the grading system. He might have been F+.
Yeah.
Right.
Stormy Daniels was a porn star.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, if either of you two are looking, you can find a video or two of his on streetbait.com.
Street bait.
Streetbait.
It sounds like something the cops would come to your door.
Yeah.
Dude, correct. Dude, fun fact sideways, taking the car off the rails for a second. So what things we would do back in college, you visit whomever, you would open up their laptops and you would find every like terrible or something awful website and just load their browsing history with all of these terrible,
While they were
terrible
just
websites.
Drinking or passed out or doing what they would do.
That's right.
Okay.
While they're away from their computer. And then when they would come back, the ads would be crazy.
Just popping up.
Yeah, like you're afraid like somebody's going to be beating down your door. Like cops are coming for you. Like, Jesus Christ, man. It was like fear of the dark web before there was a dark web.
That's terrible. What if the guy would have like passed out or had to go to the hospital and like the mom had to come like clean up the house?
Finds that all on her computer.
Did you guys ever see that one? I forget what it was called.
Jesus.
No, it was a comedy show, but they had like a brief clip of like this dude, like it was this company that would come and clean up your house.
Yeah. If you
Before, like they would go
get
on
all
your
your
like
porn
browsing
out of there.
history. They would take all your porn out of your house.
Oh, yeah.
Like put Bibles where your pornos were and stuff. Yeah.
That's
I saw that.
fantastic.
So when your parents came, like, oh, he was such a good boy.
Yeah. Look at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to his attempts at porn stardom and at stripping, he also appeared as a fab boy in not one but two issues of a Canadian gay magazine, Fab. But he had little to no success at modeling.
So that was much like a Playboy, like a bunny,
Right.
a fab boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Why do good girls like fab boys?
Whoa.
Just a song came to my like that. Remember that song? Why do good girls like bad boys?
No.
Never heard that song.
Never heard
I'm
of
just
It's an 80s
hoping,
hit.
man, I'm just hoping that wasn't a commercial for this magazine.
No, it's an 80s hit.
Never heard it.
Oh wow.
I'll
have
do
to
I'll
look
do
it
a
up.
dig on that as long as the police don't come after me for doing so.
No, they
Mhm.
won't find you on that.
Then came 2005. where old Luka was convicted on 1 count of impersonation and 3 counts of fraud. So, in this instance, he had convinced a young mentally disabled woman who was 21 years old, but with the mind of an 8 to a 12-year-old.
Yes, yeah.
To apply for some credit cards. He then used those cards himself to purchase over $10,000 worth of merch.
So he was much like an entrepreneur.
Or thief.
Yeah, thief.
So he pleaded guilty, and after his attorney convinced the judge that all of this was caused by Magnotta neglecting to take his medication for his alleged psychiatric issues, he received a 9-month conditional sentence with 12 months of probation.
Luka Belfort.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Luka Minko.
Luka Minko,
So where's Luka at on our old dirty 3-sided polygon
the
here?
McDomber.
Yeah.
Well, we'll learn about soon the concept of doing things with animals, having a broken home.
Yeah, we haven't
mother,
even been there.
yeah.
Broken home, schizophrenia. Father was abusive.
Mother was a little abusive.
Yeah.
He's starting to fit the mold.
Oh, wow.
Well, in August 2006, he legally changed his name from Eric Clinton Kirk Numenau to Luka Rocco Magnotta.
Rocco.
Luka Magnotta.
About a half a year later, in March 2007, shock, Magnotta declared bankruptcy, at the time owing $17,000 in various debts.
That's not bad, though.
Like owing that much?
Yeah, if you're in 17,000, that's something you can see a commercial for that.
So he's at the time he's 20.
Get out of that debt.
He's 25 years old. I don't know. Look, I may or may not have a bit of a financial background.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, at that age, that's pretty young to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, you could probably figure that one out.
Well, the bankruptcy was, however, fully discharged in December 2007. Now, at the time, the non-secured debt of this bankruptcy filing included, but was not limited to, $6,882 owed to an auto leasing company, $2,500 on back rent, $1,400 in mobile phone bills, $1,030 payable to the Ontario Ministry of Community and Social Services, $800 owed to the City of Toronto for parking tickets, $500 owed to Bally Total Fitness,
Wow.
and $200 for unpaid toll charges.
Now the parking tickets can get you.
Yeah,
because I lived in the city we have around here for a little bit.
Yep.
Yes,
They'll
and
get you.
they will get you.
because they just compound.
Well, and things too. Sometimes like you're just not having it, or you're pissed one day. You take it off the thing, you
it
put it
blows
in your
away
glove
or
box or something. You just throw it. You're like, man, I ain't gonna see that shit.
Well, the trick around here, you get a ticket for $20. If you don't pay it within 3 days, it's $50.
keeps compounding.
Yeah, it ends up they get a bill for like $350. You're like, shit.
Note to self: learn when and where to park.
And then you get one of them boots on your car. You ever see those?
The boot.
The boot is bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, his assets at the time included, but were not limited to, a 1995 Ford Explorer, which at the time was worth about $2,500. He also had a life insurance policy valued at $1,000, which named his mother as a beneficiary. And in addition, he had some furniture and varying personal effects.
So you're going to say Fab Boy of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019.
Also, probably a few thousand signed copies of Fab Boy magazine in which he appeared, yet nobody fucking wanted. So now, if I could for a moment, let's enter a life of narcissism. So the concept, the definition, the very examples of narcissism. We're talking about self-absorption, self-admiration, being overly boastful, exaggerating one's own achievements, pretending to be superior to others, a lack of empathy for others, looking down on others as inferior, impatient, angry, unhappy, depressed, or has mood swings when criticized, easily disappointed when expected importance is not given, always craves the best in everything, and has a very fragile self-esteem. Now, keep that all in the back of your mind.
Thinking about this guy, yeah.
All those bullets. So now, after his attempts at gay porn, after his attempts at stripping.
How do you attempt that?
Modeling, yeah.
After his attempts at modeling, gay modeling.
Yeah.
He tries a television career. In 2007, he auditioned for the reality series Cover Guy on Canada's
Go Canada.
on Canada's Out TV network. He failed the audition.
Yeah. Did you see the interviews with him on there? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Just
That's in the new premiere
Awful.
package you can get around here. It's like HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Out.
Out TV.
Out
yeah.
TV.
Yeah. He, not long after, in February 2008, auditioned for the reality series Plastic Makes Perfect on the Slice network. He failed that audition as well.
Is that like for makeovers or something, or
Enhancements.
enhancements?
Yeah, so there's a show out currently.
Nip Tuck.
Thank you. No.
I
Not
used to watch that.
yeah.
That was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's an actual show. It's like something botched, like botched
Yeah, botched
surgeries
surgery.
or something.
Oh, okay.
Where they take some fucked up people that got just really low rent
surgery.
surgeries and they basically try to fix them.
Mm.
So in this case, this was, a before and after thing of, plastic makes perfect. So he actually had said, well, look, yeah, I've had, work done here. I've had work done here. I'm also going to get bicep and
Enhancements.
pectoral implants.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Sounds like a real great guy.
So given those bullets I had given you earlier about narcissism, just a quick little reminder, two big ones: self-absorption, self-admiration, and being overly boastful, exaggerating one's own achievements. Enter now the world of social media. This guy created dozens of profiles on social media apps and discussion forums over several years in order to plant a variety of claims about himself. He ended up selling himself as a successful model and a prominent porn star. According to police, Magnotta set up at least 70 Facebook pages and 20 websites under different names. These profiles would then appear as followers or admirers of his main page. I mean, basically think of the opposite of a verified purchaser on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fake.
Right.
So set up one page for Zap.
Mm-hmm.
Then Zap sets up 50 pages of fake ass people that follow Zap's main page.
Right.
That's exactly what this guy did. And good or bad news about himself, he'd make it all up and post it in hopes of attracting attention.
Like somebody will read it. What's all the buzz with this guy?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like a catfishing. He used the same name, just so many different. Would he use like different names, or was it just
100%.
Just make fake profiles.
Okay, no. So it was fake profiles, all these different people, but as him, just to get followers for. I get it.
He was his own follower.
He catfished himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's close
Get
enough.
it kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
No, I can see where you went with that. And that, yeah.
In a way. Might try that with the podcasting.
Yeah.
Apple makeup.
Shit.
We make a spend.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll set up a shit ton of emails and a shit ton of
Yeah.
profiles just to, replay these episodes so we get over that hurdle.
Over the hurdle.
I mean,
I'm
like,
going to go in and put written reviews. Yeah.
like old dirty Basamante.
Yeah.
Maybe like different people on that one, and
I
like
wonder if you wrote the
filthy
same,
stank basement.
if you wrote the same review, I should say if you wrote a review, but then you had to translate it into like
Different languages.
different
and stuff.
languages,
Yeah.
would they
Mhm.
catch that?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
We can try
Like,
it.
man, you're just reaching all these countries and stuff.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Just listen to us.
Right.
For $1 a day.
Mhm.
You can help support.
this. That's why I got to still do that
Yeah.
promo video.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's coming.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming. Don't worry about that.
Yep.
So good or bad news, he would make it all up and post it again in hopes of attracting attention. A perfect example of this. So in 2007, a rumor was circulated that he was in a relationship with this one broad, Carla Homolka. Now, since we're not Canadian, and I'm guessing most of our listeners aren't Canadian,
I think we have a few.
a bit
Yeah.
about Carla Homolka. So Carla is a Canadian serial killer who acted as an accomplice with her husband, Paul Bernardo, in the rapes and murders of at least 3 minors, including her own sister,
Wow.
Tammy Homolka, between 1990 and 1992. Now, this particular case attracted significant media attention, not for the rapes and murders per se, but rather for the plea bargain that was struck with Ontario prosecutors, which, in exchange for testifying against her husband, left her convicted only of manslaughter.
Mm.
Surely you're all curious. Well, what do you mean manslaughter? Murder? I don't understand. The manslaughter conviction meant serving only 12 years for what was ultimately the torture, rapes, and murders of 2 teenage girls, Leslie Mahaffey and Kristen French. Her husband, however, was convicted of the 2 murders, not manslaughter, and received life imprisonment and a dangerous offender designation. So really quick on manslaughter versus murder, just in case. And I look forward to JW correcting me, but he won't.
Right.
Because I'm cool. So both are defined as the unlawful killing of a human being. The difference comes down to forethought. That is to say, the intent and degree. So in manslaughter, again, the unlawful killing, this is without malice forethought. So you have voluntary manslaughter, which is basically killing after having been provoked. Think of like a crime of passion, killing in the heat of passion, like a fight, some shit like that. You also have involuntary manslaughter, where the death is an unintentional consequence,
like automobile or something.
Reckless driving. There you go. Now we get into the concept of murder, which is the unlawful killing with forethought or intent. So in Pennsylvania, well, we'll get there. So first degree murder is killing with intent and committing another crime at the time. So it's murdering and, like, let's say robbing.
Breaking and entering and murder.
Second, and again, this is all with intent. I'm going to not just kill that guy, I'm going to steal his shit. Second degree murder is killing with the intent, but without premeditation. So in this case, like, here's a great example. You get into a fight and you're really fucking pissed. You step away from the fight and you're like, man, I'm going to get that guy. You get yourself a gun, you go back and you kill the dude. That's second degree murder. You didn't want to kill him to begin with, but you did after the scuffle.
Right.
Now, in Pennsylvania, Florida, and Minnesota, there exists third degree murder. Only in those 3 states is there such a thing as third degree murder, which is, of those third degree, you have 2 types. You have unintended, which is like very much like manslaughter, but it occurred during the commitment of a felony. So this is something you're doing while committing a felonious act. You rob a guy, you accidentally kill him. It's essentially like murder one, but without the intent. Then you have the second type of third degree murder, which is an indifference to human life, this is just reckless endangerment where a death results. Think of like Russian roulette, driving a van around with somebody in the back and driving like an asshole. Indifference to human life is, think of the opening scenes of Beverly Hills Cop, where that stunt guy is in the back of that tractor trailer.
Swinging around.
And he's just getting bounced all the fuck around because the guy is driving just like fucking crazy. If that guy in the back would have died, that would be considered indifference to human life.
Would Russian roulette, wouldn't that be suicide?
No, so that's a great question. So in a game of Russian roulette, again, this is the indifference to human life only with respect to indifference of human life. Let's say I, Zap, say to Matt, hey, Matt, let's play Russian roulette. I brought the pistol and I brought the 1 bullet. Let's you and I play the game. You agree to play the game. If you shoot yourself in the head, I would be held responsible for indifference to human life.
Okay.
Because I set this thing up. There's no parameters. It's wide open. It's clearly with the likelihood of one of us dying.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't believe we've been playing for an hour.
Nah.
Where does the time go?
It's time to go, man. We'll play tomorrow.
Okay. Sorry for having gone way off track on that, but
No, it was good. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was some fun factuals.
people hear things manslaughter, murder. It's just good to get that in the head.
So you know what it is, yeah.
So meanwhile, back to Karla Homolka. Again, there was this rumor that had been circulated that he was in a relationship with this killer.
Manslaughter lady.
And he fabricated it all.
That's right. So now, not long after this rumor had been circulated, certainly not long after at all, he called into an AM talk radio show that had been discussing Karla during a particular show. In his call, he begged listeners to squelch the rumors and adamantly denied being involved with her, complaining that people were threatening his life, ruining his reputation, ruining his would-be career, and his ability to work. A reporter from the Toronto Sun at the time had been listening to this show, and he invited Magnotta to the Toronto Sun's offices for an interview. Now, during the interview at the Sun's offices, again, the Toronto Sun, Magnotta repeated the same thing, asking people to stop hurting his reputation, stop the smear campaign, just leave him alone, etc. Now, here's the twist. Magnotta, he was the one who started the rumors to begin with.
Clever.
He just placed fake news all over social media, waited a few weeks, then called into a radio show to attract further attention to himself and justify the timeline, basically bridging that time between the start of the rumors and the point at which he called the radio. The whole thing was a hoax, and all it was just done in hopes of getting any attention of any kind, good or bad.
That's because attention is attention.
Yep.
Attention is attention. And again, back to that, a couple of those, narcissism reminders. This is, self-absorption, self-admiration, exaggerating one's own achievements in this good or bad. Anyway, after all of that, a few years go by, and then came 2010. The year of the cat.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good jam. Who is that?
Al Stewart.
Al Stewart. That's right.
So that's a great track.
Yeah, take a listen to that.
Al
listeners.
Stewart, The Year of the Cat. Great narrative song.
It's like 7 minutes long. It's cool.
Before you get into the cat video,
Shoot.
did you have his inspiration for deciding to do that type of video? Did you have anything about the 3 guys, 1 hammer?
No.
Yeah.
I know 2 girls, 1 cup. I
Yeah.
don't know 3 guys, 1 hammer.
So there was.
Is this like about Mario?
Yeah, it was
Super
Super Mario
Mario
Brothers. I think that's what the video was called. It was like 3 guys, 1 hammer, or something like that.
Donkey Kong.
These 3 guys murdered this guy. I think it was over in Russia or somewhere, another country.
Sneaky fucking Russians.
No, actually, it was Ukraine. Actually, believe it or not.
Oh.
But they murdered this 48-year-old guy with a hammer, and videotaped it all. And like we're laughing, and it was brutal. Like this video is still out online. I actually can find it if you really want to look for it. But it got attention all over the place, and he was one of them that watched it and reposted it, and it was just like people were going nuts over this video. So this guy, like you said, narcissist, always looking for attention, was like, oh, I'll just do something like that.
Okay.
That's how you get known. So he came out with this video with the cats. He just, I'll do that just to get, and he was like hyping up before this video came out. He was putting out little like teasers and stuff like, this is coming, look for this video, this and that.
Was that where he started? Like he would have the cat, he'd be like petting it. Was that one of the, or nothing with the cats?
I don't know if he had videos before this, but there was promotion going into it. I don't know if it was like written promotion, kind of like, hey, this video is coming, like, and using those fake accounts and kind of hyping up this whole event. But because of that, those 3 guys that murdered the 1 guy with the hammer, he saw all the attention they got, and he was like, oh, that's how you do it. That's how I can get noticed, is do like a crazy murder video. Those guys ended up getting caught then eventually, and got thrown in jail. I think they did other crimes too, but
Jesus.
yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ. So, on December 21st, 2010, a video was posted on YouTube titled 1 Boy, 2 Kittens. Now, let's everyone calm down for a second. Now, I don't have any pets.
Mm-hmm.
No kids, no pets, clean house. However, I mean, you got to respect the idea that this is a pet. This is a domesticated animal. I'm not talking a farm animal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking what the Amish do to their horses.
You're not eating this thing.
Right.
After you kill it.
This is a little thing.
Right.
I mean, I watched this movie, this thing on Netflix, docuseries about this. Dude, I could barely stomach getting through the first 10, 15 minutes of this. Just as not to obviously
they didn't show it, yeah.
You're not showing it, but you're seeing the people's reaction. In this case, like a particular woman's reaction watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is heartbreaking. So in this video, 1 Boy, 2 Kittens, he suffocates 2 kittens by placing them into one of those plastic compression bags for storing clothes, where a vacuum cleaner is used to remove all of the air. The little hole in the bag.
It's horrible, yeah.
But this guy, they show him like he's playing with these kittens, and it's like he's showing that he's like loving them and beforehand, which is even more evil in the sense of
it's sadistic.
Yeah.
Sadistic.
It's absolutely awful. And he ended up using the vacuum cleaner to remove all of that air from the bag. So yeah, you can guess what happened to the kittens. He later published a second video of himself, this time wrapping a shit ton of packing tape around a kitten at the end of a broomstick and drowning it in a bathtub.
Horrible.
Then came a third video, which showed him playing with a cat on a bed, while all the while, a large python lay in wait under a pillow on the bed.
Yeah, that was creepy. They showed some of that one.
Yeah.
You can guess what happens next.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long he's letting that python that he had too like starve, that he knew something
didn't
like
feed it,
yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Unbelievable. So that went down very late December 2010. In January 2011, a private Facebook group, which had been created almost immediately after the release of the first video, solely for the purposes of finding out who this terrible cat killer was, identified Magnotta as the person in these videos. Like, it didn't take these guys long.
No.
And this is a group, like, they got tight quickly.
Yeah.
But they were doing like weird shit. They were looking to see like materials in the house, like vacuum cleaners,
Yes.
like what type of furniture the guy had.
Recreated the room and the layout.
Looking for like where this product was made, who bought these things. It was intense what these people, normal people, can come up with.
Pretty quickly, they had it narrowed down to North America. And I think one of the things that got him was the cigarettes, because there was a Surgeon General warning.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, not to say he couldn't have got the cigarettes and jumped on a plane, they said, but there was that. There was the vacuum. There was a couple other things that kind of
like furniture type pieces and stuff that they found throughout the house.
But there was actually they got thrown off the track briefly by they were looking at another guy like in South Africa, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they actually ended up kind of harassing this guy. And I don't know if I couldn't really make heads or tails out of how they were describing it. If the guy was posing as the
They're trying to get a rise out of them,
or if they just kind of basically confused him with somebody else, and the guy ended up committing suicide, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. If I understand correctly, Magnotta somehow, some way used this guy's name in some kind of weird.
Jamsey crams a lot in his ass or something like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Like some kind of weird post for himself. Like he saw the name, cool, I'm going to use that same name. So this group sees that name. They look into this guy. They find the wrong guy. They ended up harassing the shit out of him so much. It will never be linked that this guy killed himself
because of that. Yeah.
Because of that harassment. He had already had like depression issues and kind of, shit like that.
This wasn't helping.
This certainly did not help.
This is not push him in the right
Holy
direction.
Shit. There's an internet group site, Facebook page completely devoted to, taking me down. What the fuck did I do?
He lost his job.
Yeah,
probably
Jesus
has like
Christ.
a drug problem, and then he's suspected of killing cats.
Well,
Poor guy.
wrong chicken on that one. This Facebook group at one point had accumulated approximately 4,000 members. This is in a matter of a month.
Right, that's crazy.
Less than a month. Animal rights activist groups subsequently offered a $5,000 reward for bringing this guy to justice. The Facebook group reported Magnotta to authorities, warning that after committing acts of animal cruelty like this, he might actually pose a threat to humans.
Yeah, it's going to lead to that.
This is the McDahmer triad.
Yeah. Yes. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
The dude's killing kittens. It wasn't even, not to say any, but it wasn't even like a cat he found on the street or anything. It was like these baby kittens that had nothing
Not to
do
say
with.
that killing a cat you found on the street is any better.
No, but I'm just saying it's the way that he did the whole, like I'm trying to make nuts and bolts of it, and it can't make sense.
Right. Now, look, to be clear, I don't own cats. Shit, I don't like cats. Cats are creepy to me, man.
I'm more of a dog guy.
Correct.
Personally,
Man,
but yeah.
one of these days I am going to own a dog.
Yeah.
I want a dog too, but we don't have a fence.
Yeah.
We have a cat. My daughter loves her cat.
I don't think anybody with like a normal thought process looks at an animal and says, "I'd like to torture that." I'd like to kill. No matter what it is. Like I said,
Dahmer.
yeah. Well, somebody like that. Yeah.
Or
Dahmer.
Ted Bundy.
Thanks, Dahmer. Actually, Stephen King ruined cats for me.
No, from the movie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye.
Just, nope. I don't want anything. They suck your breath out.
Ugh,
That was a great movie.
They do protect you. They protect you from those little trolls.
Yeah, the
though.
trolls. Yeah, the trolls are wicked.
Maybe they're not as bad as I thought.
Thought they were little leprechauns.
They're just
but no,
walking on
trolls.
razors, though. In February 2011, this is the month after So late December, he posted these videos. January, Facebook group identifies him. A month later, in February 2011, Toronto police began investigating Magnotta in connection with the cat killing videos after receiving a complaint from the Ontario Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Now, due to Magnotta's extensive traveling, the OSPCA also contacted the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Britain, the American FBI, and the police in Montreal. Now, the Facebook group's investigation, this whole thing we've been talking about, was later chronicled in the 2019 Netflix true crime docuseries, which we've referred to already. It is Don't Fuck with Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer.
Yep.
That's how they begin the story.
A year and change later, when cats just aren't enough, on May 25th, 2012, an 11-minute video titled One Lunatic, One Ice Pick was uploaded to the website bestgore.com. In this video,
Is that like black web type shit?
Dark
like,
web or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, with the bestgore.com, this is to me sounds like www. Like it's
just something that you can get.
Yeah.
Because people aren't looking at stuff thinking, oh, that's an actual murder.
right.
They think it's people getting off on.
They probably thought it was fake, or
Well, didn't we?
There was one close to this that I remember seeing like way back, like 20 some years ago. Like it was bangedup.com. Like there was some wild ass shit on there, like weird, funky ass pictures and stuff. But I mean, when I hear bestgore.com, it doesn't sound like there's nothing leading me to believe that you can only visit it via a torrent.
You would think like a hidden site would be like a combination of letters, numbers, something like really hidden.
But I'm going back old school here, but back before they had any kind of like the wwws or anything like that. There used to be people used to take pictures, and there was a friend of ours who had a couple other friends that we had. To play a joke, like because people look at these pictures sometimes as they're coming out, and you have to look at them when you put them in the
like the photo booth.
Yeah, people don't understand like a lot of this shit. You have to wait like a week or so before you can go back and get your pictures. But friends of ours actually not filmed. I keep saying that they took pictures of a person beating the shit out of.
It looked like they were digging a hole.
Looked like they were digging a hole, like stuffed them in a trash bag, and they were taking pictures of this.
Yeah, it made it look like it was like a murder.
I don't understand what you were saying.
Basically, they took pictures almost like they were like taking pictures of a murder.
Like it showed them out in the yard, like digging a hole. Like the one guy was hitting them with a shovel.
Oh.
They were stuffing like a body in a trash bag.
I see.
And they did like a series of this murder.
Okay.
Yeah.
That they took photographs of, thinking like, I wonder if anybody will see this.
And they took it to get it
funny.
Developed and got it back.
Yeah, got it back. Nobody said a thing.
Got it. It's the series. It wasn't like they were trying to. I got it. It wasn't all in one photo. It was a number of photos back to back.
Yeah, like look at the next one, and then the next
you look at the next
one.
one. It's like a shovel, and it's like hitting the head, and there's like blood on the ground. And
God
it's like,
damn.
Then it's like them outside, like digging holes, like stuffing this body in a bag, and like trying to push it in the hole. It was a whole thing that they did, thinking that I wonder if like
just to see if
see if they would get anybody would call the cops or anything would happen with it, and nothing happened. He just got the pictures back.
Yeah, it was like
so it kind of ruined the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh. If you guys are listening, that was a great story. That was
pretty
stuff.
brilliant. Yeah.
That is more fun than a squid in your pants. So
I haven't tried that.
March 25th, 11-minute video. One lunatic, one ice pick. Bestgore.com. This video depicted a naked male tied to a bed frame being repeatedly stabbed with what appeared to be an ice pick, though it was later revealed to be a screwdriver.
That was painted, or colored up.
And with a kitchen knife as well. The body was then dismembered, followed by varying acts of necrophilia.
Yeah, abusing the corpse.
The perpetrator used a knife and fork to cut off some of the flesh and gets a dog to chew on the body.
Yeah.
That was a rough part there.
Yeah, man.
Reading about that, it's like, what?
And that was stuff that didn't come up in the show.
In the show, no.
They kind of like
you had to read about that.
but this is like an extended version, I guess, that the authorities got.
That's right. We're talking about Luka Magnotta, not just some beat-ass show.
Right.
We do the deep dive here on the Old Dirty Basement.
Give you the bonus stuff.
But this guy was much like Dahmer. He had to go out and find this, an engineering student, or he was like, 33 years old or something?
I think he put an ad out, like, hey, I'm looking to make it was like on one of those like Craigslist.
To make money off of making a video or doing something.
Like Dahmer would offer like, hey, $50 to come back to my place. I'll take some
Polaroids.
Right. Pretty much. He put it out there, and just put feelers out. And I guess this guy got back to him like, yeah, I'll do it.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's Grinder.
No fear at the what was that place called? Remington's.
Yeah,
That's right.
Remington's.
At
Yeah,
Remington's.
there's no fear at Remington's.
During the video, the 1987 New Order song "True Faith" plays in the background.
Mhm.
Now, we just had a New Order montage, or
Yes.
a little sing along. Not, but last time we were recording,
Yeah, they came
Actually, they're
on.
coming to Merriweather, I believe.
I know the Cure is.
Yeah.
Yes, The Cure is also.
Mhm.
New Order is, and I also got I just got a text. People in the music. Oh, the Dirty Heads are at Wind Creek, Bethlehem, July 16th.
Well, there you go.
There you are.
Also, Duran Duran will also be at the Merriweather.
Mm.
Yeah, New Order. They actually played that in the beginning of American Psycho.
Yep.
Yeah, that opening
mhm.
scene with her at the club and stuff.
Is it is that that one?
No, it's the this song here. He was
How did that
talking
song
about.
go?
Wow.
We just listened to it the other day. The New Order song you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's lost-
Regret?
No, not
the,
regret.
The one here that we're just talking about.
Oh, True Faith.
True Faith, yeah.
Yeah.
But how does that go?
It's kind of hard to explain. You'll know it as soon as
it's
you
kinda
hear
hard.
it, though.
It's kind of hard to hum.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, we're good. Go
All
ahead.
right. So during the video, the 1987 New Order song "True Faith" plays in the background.
Good song. Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Canadian authorities alleged that cannibalism may also have been performed.
This guy was off his fucking rocker.
Yeah.
That was the director's cut that the authorities saw,
Mhm.
not necessarily what was broadcast.
Broadcast.
So it's necrophilia.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, killing.
Yeah.
Then some necrophilia.
Yeah.
Then having dogs eat parts of the body.
Yep.
Then he wants to eat parts of the body.
Yep.
Then probably some more necrophilia. Then
Yeah.
he's cutting shit off.
All to the tune of "True Faith"
Mm-hmm.
I
by
don't even
New
think
Order.
the song's that long. He had to hurry up.
Yeah.
He might have had that on repeat.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing anymore? I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You just hit the button.
On May 26th, the day after the video's release, an attorney from Montana attempted to report the video to Toronto police, his local sheriff, and the FBI. But the report was dismissed by officials. BestGore.com viewers also attempted to report the video, but with the same results. 3 days later, on May 29th, at 11 a.m., a package containing a left foot was delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada. Now, the package was stained with blood, had a foul smell, and was marked with a red heart symbol.
That had nothing to do with the movie either.
Correct. That same day, another package containing a left hand was intercepted in a Canada Post processing facility addressed to the Canadian Liberal Party. So, Conservative Party, Liberal Party, each of you are getting a cut off body part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that same day,
He must have been independent.
I'm guessing
Yeah.
he might be
Yeah.
right down the middle. That same day, a janitor discovered a decomposing torso inside of a suitcase left in a garbage pile in the alley behind an apartment building in the Snowdon area of Montreal.
Now, was it did he have it in the actual dumpster or was it sitting
It was
like
just sitting
sitting
out there, I
there?
think.
Okay.
Suitcase
Yeah.
sitting
Just
next
sitting
to a
ne-
dumpster.
Yeah. All right.
In fact, this janitor had first seen the suitcase 4 days earlier on May 25th. However, it wasn't picked up that day due to the large amount of garbage otherwise in the alley. So it's like, hey, City of Harrisburg, if they're there to pick up a dumpster, they'll empty the dumpster. If there's a shit ton of trash bags around that dumpster,
Not
sorry,
getting
man.
Let
that,
it be.
yeah.
Sorry, man. You're shit out of luck. We're just here to drive the truck and dump it. We're not getting out.
Yeah, they're not
and doing
getting
that
out
shit.
no more.
Yeah.
That's olden days.
Same thing happened with that torso in the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So after searching the scene, police recovered human remains, bloody clothes, and papers identifying the suspect, as well as sharp and blunt objects. Footage from surveillance cameras inside the apartment building showed a suspect bringing numerous garbage bags outside, and the images matched the suspect who was captured on video at the post office dropping off the packages with the foot and hand in them.
Mm-hmm.
They also
And it-
showed him. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and this is also why, and this is 10 years ago, 12
Mhm.
years ago, whatever, but this is why, getting away with crimes nowadays is so much harder because
Jeez, you don't have a chance.
there's so much footage. There's cameras everywhere.
Well,
there's
everybody has a ring
surveillance.
on their homes. I mean, you go to any city, I think they have to have in most cities. It's like every 20 yards or something. There's
Right.
a camera. There's motion detectors all over lampposts. Yeah, it's
But this guy, as we'll find out, I'm sure, is all about getting all this footage. Like
he loved it.
He's not trying to hide
because they showed
anything.
him walking in the surveillance with the young gentleman, Lin.
Any press is good press.
Right.
Lin Jun, I think the guy's name was.
In fact, Matt, that same day, May 29th, a Chinese guy by the name of Lin Jun, also known as Justin Lin, was reported missing. The next day, on May 30th, police matched the body parts that had been received in the mail to the torso that had been discovered in the alley. Also that same day, Luka Magnotta was immediately identified as a suspect. Alas, Magnotta had booked and departed on a round-trip flight from Montreal to Paris.
Yeah, I was thinking about the timing of all that. So by the time they figured out who he was,
He was on the plane.
He was already gone.
He
Okay,
was
because
gone.
I was going to say, like, how are they not able to?
He was actually smart with that. He kind of knew maybe a timeline that he would have, or when the garbage was going to be collected, that he had an X amount of time to get the hell out of there.
Maybe, yeah.
A few days later, on June 5th, a package containing a right foot was delivered to St. George's School. Same day, another package containing a right hand was delivered to False Creek Elementary School in Vancouver.
That's just some weird shit,
Yeah,
too.
it is weird.
About a week later, on June 13th, the 4 limbs and the torso were matched to Lin Jun using DNA samples from his family.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks later, on July 1st, Lin Jun's head was recovered at the edge of a small lake in Montreal's Angrignon Park.
And that was like an anonymous tip that came in.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was always like
Just the tip.
just the tip.
Just an
Just the
anonymous
tip. But there was always people that like would think, is he acting alone? There was a question about that just because of like coordinating all this. So it could have been him, I guess, that called it in. Who knows?
Who
If he
knows?
orchestrated it all on his own. But yeah, that was an anonymous tip that came in.
Huh.
So the head he just took, went down to the old river and chucked it in?
Tossed it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we used to do with car batteries in High Spire.
Right. Which I talking about that.
good old
Not talking
Susquehanna.
about that, but talking about somebody else being involved. I wanted to ask you when we get to the end of this about something that
Sure.
came up in the
All right, absolutely. All right, so now let's rewind. Remember, I had mentioned the Luka was. This was on May 30th. Luka was immediately identified as a suspect. So as of May 30th, this guy's a wanted man.
Mm-hmm.
He at this time is accused of first-degree murder. And remember what we said about murder versus manslaughter.
Right.
So first-degree murder, committing an indignity to a dead body,
Mm-hmm.
publishing.
That's necrophilia.
That's an indignity, all right. Publishing obscene material, mailing obscene, indecent, immoral, or scurrilous material, and criminally harassing Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and several unnamed other members of Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
That's just nail the guy with murder and call it a day.
know.
Like you don't need the
Dang.
other charges. If you're charged with murder, he's going to jail for life anyway. Just get him on the murder and the Scroogius and the Babuskis and
the
Chicharachas. You don't need all that shit.
Snozberries.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
taste like snozberries.
Committing an indignity to a dead body. That's just a fucked up charge.
Yeah, just give the guy
Yeah, so they
murder.
They had this like on Red Notice. They said like the Interpol. They let them know. And they were all
No, I don't know what that means.
But international police?
No.
No,
Red notice.
Red Notice, I guess, is
Is that like versus yellow notice or green notice?
basically it's just like the most wanted in the world.
Gotcha.
Like it's just a red note. There was a movie I guess they made with The Rock. It was
Oh,
like a
okay,
movie
Red
a year or two
Notice.
ago, Red
Yeah,
Note,
yeah, I seen that.
And it was
The name of the movie is Red Notice?
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, no
It's,
shit.
it's like him and this girl. They're like basically secret agents, not secret agents, I guess. But I forget what the movie. But I'm assuming that's Red Notice, meaning the same thing in that movie.
Sure.
They were wanted or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
anything put on red, like in The Simpsons. Remember, is that red light good? He's like, have you ever known a red light to be?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Matt.
Oh no, is the red light bad? He's like, have you ever known a red light to be good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's funny.
So this guy again had gotten a round trip ticket to Paris. So after his arrival in France, Magnotta's mobile phone signal was traced to a hotel in Bagnolet.
Again, the old mobile phones.
Yep.
If you're running, you got to get rid of that. Man.
Yeah, you need
you got to dump
burner
it.
phones, man.
Yeah,
But he had left by the time police had arrived. And when they arrived at his hotel room, they found gay porno mags and a barf bag from the airplane.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
The barf bags in the airplane.
Oh, okay.
This,
I got
you know, they're in the seat in front of you.
He was reading the mag.
Throwing
He's like,
up.
Or what's he using that barf bag for?
Yeah.
who knows?
True.
Yeah, it was a long flight.
The room might have been out of tissues.
Could have
Yeah,
been,
yeah.
packing his lunch.
He forgot to pack socks.
Yeah.
Who knows? Packing his lunch.
That's a good
Yeah.
He's packing something.
Did you know that he wrote a blog about disappearing, like doing a crime and disappearing, like how to do it and
Did
like
not know
different
that.
steps? Yeah. So
I thought you meant like Copperfield.
like
Yeah.
a magician.
like he had like a
Make the Statue of Liberty
yeah, like
disappear.
a cape, and he'd be
Right.
gone.
Now they went back and looked at like all the things. Like he wrote like a whole thing about like what you need to do, like fake identity, liquidate all your assets, get cash. All these different things to basically disappear.
Well, he figured that out back when he declared bankruptcy.
Right.
He lost that 95 Ford
Explorer. Yeah.
back when they were exploders.
Exploders. Yeah.
In today's world, you would have to have a shit ton of money.
To disappear like that.
Yeah.
And just.
I
be
mean, I
all
know there's
cash.
places where you could probably get, that you see on movies or whatever. You can get like a fake identity. You can get new Social Security.
If you need that, don't forget the guys like the Unabomber. So that guy was just hanging out in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living off the grid, basically.
Completely. I mean, you know how to kill animals and cook animals and eat the fruits of the forest.
But this guy was a fanboy. I don't see him like surviving in the middle of the woods.
Wholeheartedly understand. I get that.
This guy's like dancing in a club. He's like, I gotta get to the woods.
Yeah. Right.
This guy had to this guy had to file bankruptcy because his phone bill per month. So when you file bankruptcy, you got to tell the judge or the people that are working the paperwork. It's like, look, man, I'm not going to be able to pay these unsecured credit debts because not only am I broke as fuck, not only have these debts accumulated, but I have these ongoing expenses for which to pay.
Mm-hmm.
They include, in Magnotta's case, but we're not limited to. Now check this out. At the time of his bankruptcy filing, $200 a month for his phone, but only $90 a month for food.
So more phone than food.
More phone than food. Plus $20 a month for smokes. Back when smokes were so cheap. God, I miss those.
Especially in Canada, around like 1994. Yeah, that Canada trip, they were cheap.
They weren't too bad.
But anyway, yeah, in order to disappear, you need to really have your shit together.
Yeah, it takes planning. You can't half-ass it because you can't go back. All right. Speaking of going back, Magnotta had contacts in Paris from a previous visit from back in 2010. So at this point, police began following. They began by following a large-framed man who had been in contact with Magnotta.
Was it Haggart?
Could have been. They then followed another man Magnotta had stayed with for 2 nights, and this guy alleges he didn't know it was Magnotta until well after Magnotta had left. So from there, Magnotta then boarded a Eurolines bus at the Bagnolet.
The what?
Bagnolet.
Sounds like a sandwich.
Like a
Like at
casino or
Hardee's.
something. It sounds like a casino in Vegas. Back
Could
in
be.
LA.
Like chicken rondelay.
Yes.
The same. It's the same. It ends with the same. LET.
Yeah.
So Bagnolet or Bagnolet. I don't care. I'm not French. Coach station.
That's what, try our new Bagnolet.
Bagnolet. Coach station, which was bound for Berlin, Germany.
So I know where that's at.
After all of that, just to pull that all together, after these guys are chasing after him, he gets on the bus, makes his way to Berlin.
So that's his final stop, correct? Or
Is it?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't get to Berlin.
Well, it is. Because on June 4th, they got him.
Yeah.
Magnotta was apprehended by Berlin police at an internet cafe while, not surprisingly, was actually reading news stories about himself.
See, the internet cafe, that kind of sets it up for himself. Like,
Of course.
they probably like, where can we find this guy? He needs to get on the computer.
That's right.
He's either at a public library
Yep.
or an internet cafe.
Dude, this guy was reading stories about himself. Like, what the fuck?
Inside information for anybody out there. If you want to tip off the police, the FBI, anybody like that about something that's going on, you don't want your name to be known, you go to a public library.
Or stay the hell off the internet, for Christ's sake.
No, public library. It's a fun fact.
What do you know that I don't? What goes on at a public library?
No, if you ever want to like alert like any of the like the police or anything like that of something that you know of, but you don't want your name to be involved in something.
Mm-hmm.
If you just put on like a hat, like a little sweatshirt, go into a public library, there's really no way of tracing you.
Don't you have to have your
Unless they know, you need a library card.
to log in?
You don't need a library card to log in.
Why would
This
I'm
isn't
sure you
prison.
do.
This is the library.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
because
can't you get a library card? They're not taking like 8 forms of ID. Like you can probably get like a fake library card.
I guess you could.
You say my name's like Joe Lewis. They're like, here,
Right.
Joe.
They're going to check shit out.
Maybe today. I don't know. I think when I was a kid, it was pretty easy. You just go in and say, I go to this school.
Look, so much was easier when we were kids.
Like,
Shit, man. I could
here,
walk
dude.
into a grocery store with $10 and walk out with, a dozen steaks, a dozen lobster
Yeah.
tails and shit like that. And then, God damn it, they installed those cameras.
You could feed a
Right,
family of 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So Magnotta got apprehended by the Berlinian police. And this is actually very good because tensions between China and Canada were really high at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Things were not good. 2 weeks later, on June 18th, Magnotta was delivered to Canadian authorities in Berlin and flown back to Canada in a military plane. Upon his arrival, he was placed into solitary confinement. The next day, June 19th, Magnotta appeared in court by video link and pleaded not guilty to all charges. Right.
Not guilty.
Good lawyer. I'm not guilty of any of this stuff I film myself doing.
2 days later, on June 21st, Magnotta appeared in person in a Montreal courtroom to request a trial by jury.
Yeah, they didn't want to. They had to fly him back on that plane. They said because they couldn't put him on any. No other airlines would take him. They were like it would be like a big distraction.
The way I read it was that if he were to go, so he's flying internationally.
Right.
So if he goes from Berlin to Canada, and if at any point something went awry with that flight, where that flight had to go to, I don't know, fucking Iceland,
Mm-hmm.
dare they go to the United States? That just fucks up the whole extradition process, getting him out of Berlin and getting him back to the home soil of Canada.
Mm.
So again, any hell would have happened. Engine problems would have to. It happens.
What do you mean? Anybody could have
land in Africa or some shit?
They would have to taken him into custody there, or they.
It creates so many red tape
It's
problems.
just more like paperwork. Oh, because now you're in.
A different country here
Yeah.
or a different country there.
Well, then the country might have the opportunity to charge him there, or like I don't understand what the red tape.
So look, just think if they're here's a great example. Just let's think if they're taking Julian Assange from wherever to America, but for whatever reason, the plane has to crash land or quickly land in sneaky fucking Russia. Well, okay, good luck. Good luck, America, getting him out of Russia.
Right.
Okay.
So it's
Gotcha.
that concept.
Gotcha.
So they needed a direct flight with no possibility of that flight going awry.
Yeah, just get him back here so we can finish this off.
Yeah. 21st, requested trial by jury. All right. Later, almost a year later, the hearing begins on March 11th, 2013. The preliminary hearing begins.
Huh?
Oh. Well, the hearing began, so
Yeah.
you can hear it already.
Yeah, hearing.
I think.
What? Oh,
What?
huh? What?
At this hearing, the evidence presented was subjected to a publication ban. Now, Magnotta's defense team requested the media and the public to be barred entirely from the hearing, but this was denied. Expert witnesses, including a forensic pathologist, a forensic toxicologist, a forensic odontologist, a bloodstain analyst. Bloodstein. That's the Jewish
Yeah,
blood.
the Jewish blood.
A-
Richard Bloodstein.
Yeah.
Bloodstein.
A bloodstain analyst, data recovery specialists, and an internet investigations officer were all called to testify. Almost. Okay. April 12th, Magnotta was indicted on charges of first-degree murder, offering indignities to a human body, distributing obscene materials, using the Postal Service to distribute obscene materials,
No federal offense.
and criminal harassment.
Mm.
To get that
Now-
postal service involved.
Yeah.
True. All right. Trial begins September 29th, 2014. Now, 6 implements were recorded. Start over. 6 implements were recovered outside of Magnotta's apartment. They included a pair of scissors, 2 knives, a screwdriver, an oscillating saw, and a hammer.
I thought you were going to say like a saxophone, 2 guitars,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
A band.
band, drum set.
Did I say instruments or implements?
I don't know. It sounded like instruments. Did you say instruments or
I hope
implements?
I said implements.
Is that where the killer started?
Yes.
The band, yeah.
Dude, P.S. If you get the chance to see them live, don't sleep on
Oh, I
that.
heard that. Yeah.
That's a great live show.
I think people were talking about they were in Penn State.
Yeah.
I think it was. They
Yeah.
were saying it was a great show.
That was
I-
a few years ago, I think.
Like 2, I think, maybe
Yeah.
right after COVID. Last
Oh.
year,
Anyways,
2 weeks ago.
maybe a couple of months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A couple of months ago. So, despite these 6 implements that were outside of his apartment, not a one of them could be definitively linked to the killing. Magnotta pleaded not guilty. He admitted to the crimes for which he'd been charged, but he claimed diminished responsibility due to mental disorders and impaired judgment. Now, Magnotta's defense argued that Magnotta was in a psychotic state at the time of the crimes and could not be held responsible for his actions.
He said he was taking drugs for those, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Defense witnesses provided evidence that Luka Magnotta had been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia as a teenager. Additionally, one defense expert witness testified that Magnotta showed signs of episodic schizophrenia, dangerous personality traits, and histrionic personality disorder, all of which were meant to lead the jury to believe that he was mentally ill. The prosecution, however, revealed that Magnotta had been using illegal drugs since his teenage years, which in turn led to symptoms that mimicked schizophrenia, i.e., smoking bad reefer.
Right.
Moreover, the prosecution used the defense's defense against them and, in fact, had experts testify that Magnotta's actions at the time of the murder were best explained simply by the same histrionic personality disorder presented by the defense. Histrionic personality disorder, this is an excessive attention-seeking behavior, excessive desire for approval.
It's like more hardcore than narcissism.
It's actually less hardcore. It's
Like a laid back narcissist.
call it a laid back narcissist, but this is the person that absolutely must, without question, must have attention
Okay.
at all times. Like at all times, they take breakups like really hard. Like it crushes their life for like they're depressed for months,
So like
years.
a teenager, in other words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
basically.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So this, after all of that, in short, the prosecution blew the idea of schizophrenia right out of the water and left this guy as simply an attention junkie. And after a 12-week trial on December 23rd, the jury found Magnotta guilty on all charges. Magnotta, who is still in prison, will serve a mandatory life sentence. However, he will be eligible for parole after 25 years in 2039. Now, he was also sentenced to 19 years for other charges, but those 19 years are being served concurrently.
Oh, okay. So no death penalty up there.
No death
Yeah.
I
penalty.
don't think so. I think they're kinder, gentler.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did. I did read that he married another convicted murderer inmate
Awesome.
in
Oh, really?
jail.
That's,
Yeah,
that's prison
A
love.
guy or
I'm pretty sure there's no women.
This sounds
in-
like a fun facts.
Fun fact.
Yeah. So yeah, in 2017, he married another convicted murderer inmate. So he met some guy in jail, and
Tied a knot.
yeah,
A match made in lockup.
Yeah.
I say good for
How
them.
they shouldn't allow stuff like that.
So what I wanted to get back to, I referenced earlier. So you didn't get to see the third part of that
No.
documentary, but he had went to see a lawyer at some point after the cat video, but before the murder of
Lin Jun.
Lin Jun, and he had told the guy, "Hey, there's this guy. He's abusing me. He's making me do things I don't want to do. He made me do this cat video."
I got you.
You
I know
got-
where you're. I know where
Okay.
you're. Go ahead.
So there was in the one video an extra set of hands that you could see in the shot, which they never really went back to say, well, who was it in there with him?
Interesting.
So he had kept talking about this guy Manuel,
Yep.
this and that. So I'm assuming you're going to bring that up.
I have that as a fun fact.
Okay. So my point was in any of your research, did you ever see anything where there was an accomplice or somebody that maybe wasn't this Manny that was, we'll find out about, but somebody that maybe could have planted that head or kind of helped him, like,
run the camera, move the camera,
do things,
move a body, chop up a body,
send these packages out. Like,
sure.
You know, that I didn't know if you came across anything.
I got nothing on that.
Yeah.
And that guy still might be on the loose.
Right. I was just curious about that because that was his defense. Is like, that was another thing that he tried to use is that, this guy, Manny, was making me do it. So we'll get into that fun fact.
Well, I was just going to say, so fun fact, during an interview with a psychiatrist about the night of the murder, Magnotta claimed that a person named Manny was present and was urging him to kill. It was later determined, not long after, that the name Manny was inspired by the fictional character Manny Vasquez, who was the fiance of Sharon Stone's fictional character Catherine Trammell in the film Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct, yeah.
Which I've never seen.
Oh,
Really?
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Is that the one where she does the thing with
the
her
rabbit.
legs?
Yeah, that, and then, or no, I'm thinking of
The
what's
leg
one with
crossing.
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Okay.
That was it's a whole different movie.
Neither of which I've ever seen.
yeah. I think Fatal Attraction was the one with the rabbit. They boil the rabbit.
Boil the rabbit, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Manny.
Yeah, this guy was obsessed with movies and all that.
Well, apparently he was obsessed with Basic Instinct because, second fun fact, prosecutors also suggested that the black screwdriver used by Magnotta to stab Lynn,
Sharon Stoney,
had actually been painted silver to resemble the ice pick used in the Basic Instinct murder scenes.
Mm-hmm. And that Trammell, last name of that character, he was using an alias too, with Trammell in the name as well.
I saw that. I didn't include it because there was, when I read that, that's like, and he wore a purple shirt this day,
right? Yeah.
Or he wore fishnets that day,
right?
That reminds me much of that's another Dahmer type thing. Didn't he, like when he had people over
he make them watch The Exorcist?
Exorcist. Yeah. He enjoyed that, like watching movie. Weird.
Wait. I know that Dahmer enjoyed The Exorcist or Exorcist 2.
3 or something.
3, yeah.
Or 3. I'm sorry. It was 3.
Mm-hmm.
What did Luka, the weirdo Magnotta, like?
I'm saying
he loved
Basic Instinct.
Basic.
He probably watched it over and over and over again.
Casablanca as well. He liked these older movies.
That movie.
Actually, that's where these internet sleuths, a lot of them started because he had a Casablanca poster in the background when he was committing the one murder. And I guess at the end of the movie, he says something like, "Well, we always have France, or we always have Paris." I'm sorry. And they're like, "Where do you think he's going to go?" Probably Paris, because of the movie poster. And like, I think they were trying to say like this guy was leaving little clues. Like he enjoys the chase or being chased.
Or so he maybe wanted to get caught.
I think he definitely did, and almost like, basically to make it almost like a movie.
True.
I don't know. Guy was definitely sick.
Well, we're still talking about him, so he kind of
thanks Netflix
got away with it.
Right.
Anyway, that's all I got on this whack job.
Yeah, it was a compelling crime. I guess.
I feel compelled.
Just like I said, I know so many people that kind of skipped over this one on Netflix, because they saw the title and didn't know really the whole story. And what's crazy is that as wild of a story as this is, I never heard about it, the actual murder side of it and all that. But you would think like that would have been a bigger story here in the U.S. I mean, even though it happened in Canada, if you're shipping body parts and stuff like that. They also said he was inspired by that Twitchell guy that we had. I think that was one of the first ones that we did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of these stories and killers and different things that he kind of got inspiration from. Like I said earlier about the 3 Ukrainian guys with the murder, the Mark Twitchell thing, and then these movies and stuff. So, yeah. I guess he's like, 41 years old now, they said? 82, so you figure.
Yeah.
Probably like
that
41.
number's right on.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach, man, I appreciate you researching that, writing everything up.
Yeah, it's like I wanted to really reiterate in the beginning, like it's one thing for you to watch this thing on Netflix. Like it really is one thing. But to like do that deeper dive and to find out so much more about this fucking whack job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's some scary shit out there.
To take a good read into it, realize what people are fully capable of. But like you said, when they mailed the things through the mail to the U.S., they probably, I mean, we've become so numb to things. I think they were just like, it's some other whack job. We can't find them right now. So we'll just
I guess
put this on the back burner because we got so much other shit going on.
To worry about.
So desensitized everything. Yeah, but thanks to Officer Vince for pointing us in that direction. To
Thanks,
do this
Officer
one.
Vince.
Thanks, Officer Vince.
Support your police.
That's right. And I'm not sure what we'll be back with next week. Definitely another cool true crime or compelling story. Anything else, guys, in closing?
No, thanks for listening. Yeah, keep the ideas coming.
Yeah,
that's right. So don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement and on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.